Brian Schottenheimer has made it clear, big changes are coming for the Dallas Cowboys after the bye week. And this time, it feels real. We're about to break down what those changes could look like, 6 major shifts that could redefine the Cowboys' identity heading into the second half of the season. First up, something Schottenheimer himself has already hinted at, 5-man defensive fronts. These looks are expected to become a much bigger part of Dallas' defensive strategy moving forward. We talked about it after the Quinnen Williams trade, and now, it's becoming a reality. 5-man fronts, especially on early downs, give the Cowboys a massive advantage. With Osa Odigizua, Quinnen Williams, and Kenny Clark clogging the middle, this defense suddenly looks terrifying. According to ESPN, Dallas has already played 43 snaps with 5 defensive linemen, the third most in the NFL. 27 of those came against the Arizona Cardinals, a team that loves using heavy sets with multiple tight ends and extra linemen. So it made perfect sense for Dallas to counter with extra muscle up front, and the results were impressive. Before we go any deeper, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Now, back to business. The addition of Quinnen Williams gives Dallas something they've been missing, a true interior, gravity player who commands double teams and disrupts everything around him. His sack numbers don't tell the full story, but his impact is undeniable. And fun fact, back in 2022, Williams' best year came under Aaron White-Cotton, who just happens to be the Cowboys' current defensive line coach. That connection could be huge. Expect Dallas to rotate heavily up front, Williams, Osa, and Clark forming the core, while Solomon Thomas provides depth and flexibility, even shifting out to defensive end in certain packages. Perrion Winfrey could see more snaps when he returns, but this defense is clearly trending toward more power inside. The Cowboys may pull back slightly on their 3 defensive end fronts, focusing more on the trio of tackles. Jadeveon Clowney has been heating up lately, Dorrance Armstrong continues to flash, and Dante Fowler Jr. remains a dangerous pass rusher. But Dallas desperately needs Sam Williams to finally take that next step, to become the difference maker this front has been waiting for. If there's one player who needs to step up right now, it's Sam Williams. The Cowboys need him to become a more consistent presence, especially as a run defender. Dallas can't afford any weak links on the edge heading into the next stretch of the season. So, let's pause for a second. What's your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys right now? Rate it from 1 to 10 in the comments. Be honest, because the truth is, this team is about to look very different. The simplest but most important change? New faces. Not just in the lineup, but on the active 53-man roster itself. Of course, we already talked about Quinnen Williams, the headline addition. But he's not alone. Perrion Winfrey has been designated to return from injured reserve, and he's expected back soon, maybe not in time for the Raiders game, but close. Then there's DeMarvion Overshown, who's joining the squad following the trade with the Cincinnati Bengals. He and Logan Wilson could easily form the Cowboys' new-look starting linebacker duo. That's a major upgrade in both speed and tackling range. Savion Revel is also expected to make his debut against the Raiders, assuming he's activated in time. The situation with Trayvon Diggs remains uncertain, his return is still up in the air, but Malik Hooker could be back soon, and Donovan Wilson is trending toward returning this week. That's potentially 6 defensive starters either returning or joining the lineup, nearly half of your defense changing in one stretch. Even accounting for rotations, that's a massive shift. At linebacker, Jack Sanborn remains on injured reserve for at least a few more weeks, while Overshown's return adds much-needed versatility. The Cowboys might even experiment with 3 to 4 looks, using players like Ezra Ulubi as a stand-up edge rusher, paired with Overshown or Wilson on the opposite side. This defense is evolving fast. And with these new additions, the Cowboys aren't just patching holes, they're building a wall. Now, moving to the next adjustment the Cowboys absolutely need to make: more man coverage. This isn't just a preference, it's about attitude. Over the past few weeks, Dallas has started leaning back toward man-to-man defense, showing flashes of what this secondary can be when it plays aggressively. In Week 6, the Cowboys ran man coverage on just 16% of plays. By week 7, that number climbed to over 50%. It dipped again in week 8, then bounced back in week 9 before tapering off late in the game. The numbers tell a mixed story. According to Sports Info Solutions, opponents average 7.3 yards per pass in man coverage, and 8.4 in zone. The touchdown rate is higher in man, as you'd expect, especially in the red zone, but the defense also creates more turnovers and pressure when they play tighter. The takeaway? Even if man coverage isn't perfect, it gives Dallas an edge, a chance to dictate, not react. Zone coverage has looked too soft, too predictable, and it's been one of the team's biggest defensive weaknesses this season. That's why players like Quinnen Carson could become key. He's physical, instinctive, and has the tools to thrive in pressman situations. I'd love to see him get real reps, to see what he can do when trusted in one-on-one matchups. And don't forget about Savion Revel. His versatility makes him a strong fit in either man or zone concepts, but man coverage lets his natural aggression shine. He's got the talent to play anywhere, and giving him snaps now could pay off huge later in the season. If Dallas truly wants to play defense with heart, swagger, and energy, man coverage has to be their identity. I'd really like to see Quinnen Carson get more opportunities over some of the other corners the Cowboys have been rotating in. Sure, we can't draw too many conclusions from limited snaps, but his instincts, ball awareness, and confidence stand out. He even posted about it after the win, and honestly, he earned that little celebration. Meanwhile, Darren Bland needs to tighten up. He's had rough stretches, no doubt, but he's also proven he can bounce back, and that's what great corners do. Tracus Bridges nearly had an interception fall right into his lap after getting beat on the route. Plays like that can't happen if you want to be trusted as a full-time NFL starter. As for Kaiir Elam, he's clearly more comfortable in man coverage than zone, but opponents have been targeting him heavily, and his EPA allowed per play remains one of the highest among Dallas corners. So yes, Bland struggled, but Elam's numbers have been even worse. If there's room for one more starting caliber corner, I'd love to see what Quinnen Carson can do in that spot, or, when Trayvon Diggs finally returns, how those rotations shake out. The Cowboys need stability and consistency on the outside. Now, let's switch to offense for a moment, because there's one name that deserves more attention: Brevin Span-Ford. Everything the Cowboys were hoping to get from Luke Schoonmaker, Span-Ford is already doing, and arguably doing better. According to Pro Football Focus, Span-Ford currently holds an 83.4 run-blocking grade, the highest among all Cowboys players. Compare that to Schoonmaker's 55.6 and Jake Ferguson's similar rating, and you start to wonder why he isn't seeing more snaps. When it comes to run blocking, Span-Ford is quietly becoming one of the more effective tight ends in the league. He's strong at the point of attack, finishes blocks, and adds real balance to this offense. Honestly, I've been underwhelmed by Luke Schoonmaker's impact so far. It might be time for Dallas to give Span-Ford a longer look, because he's earned it. I just don't think Luke Schoonmaker has been good enough. Right now, Brevin Span-Ford is outperforming him in nearly every way that matters. Yes, the stat sheet doesn't show it, but if you watch closely, Span-Ford is impacting games. He's stronger, more reliable in blocking, and when he's given the chance, he's shown flashes of being a legitimate playmaker. I've seen him make big catches that unfortunately got wiped out by penalties, but the potential is there. The Cowboys just haven't fully committed to using him yet, and that needs to change. If it were up to me, I'm giving Span-Ford more snaps immediately. He brings toughness and effort every play, something that can help balance this offense down the stretch. Now let's talk about the right tackle situation, because this one's becoming impossible to ignore. The Cowboys benched Terrence Steele against the Arizona Cardinals, giving Nathan Thomas a shot. Steele still played 48 snaps, but Thomas got 19, and it was a mixed bag. Thomas looked solid on the opening drive, helping move the ball effectively, but after that, things fell apart. He allowed multiple pressures and struggled with assignments. In fact, in just those 19 snaps, he gave up more pressures than any other Cowboy in that game. As for Steele, his run blocking has noticeably declined this season. He needs to be better, plain and simple. If he doesn't improve, Dallas might start considering other options for next year. That's why this stretch is so critical, both for evaluation and for the future. If Steele can rebound and reclaim his consistency, great. But if not, the team needs to know whether Thomas is a real long-term answer or just a serviceable backup. It's a battle to watch closely this week in practice, because whoever locks down that right tackle job could end up shaping how far this offense can go.